red lipstick, iconic sleevage. I've prepared a PowerPoint. Today we are discussing Eternal Sunshine by Ariana Grande. This is my PowerPoint. And can I just say, I love the promo pictures. It's like 2 of herself, right? She's like leaning on herself. I think she mentions in one of the lyrics that you just have to be your own best friend. Let's talk about the album a little bit. 13 tracks, 4 bonus tracks. It's coming in at 35 minutes and 26 seconds, so it's a very, very short album. It was released March 8th, 2024. The first single was Yes and, which I believe released before the album came out. Then We Can't Be Friends, Wait for Your Love. I believe that one came out after the album released. And in 3 days, That Boy Is Mine will release. I think Penn Badgley is going to be in the video. She had Evan Peters in the We Can't Be Friends one. But there was so she's just kind of showing teasers. It's like in a bathroom. There's her hand coming through the bathroom door, but there's a guy at the sink. And people were saying it's Penn Badgley. And then the next day after this rumor was circling, she posted a video of Penn Badgley. Oh my God. So people think that's Penn Badgley. I mean, the hair. There's Ariana's hand. The Boy Is Mine. June 7th. So a few days. Okay, I see what happened. So you've probably seen this video of him dancing. She took the video of him dancing to Meghan Trainor and instead added her song on top of it to troll everyone. Shall we discuss the elephant of the controversy in the room of what was happening around the time this album released? So Ariana Grande was married to Dalton, I don't know his last name. And this timeline, like nothing is concrete. We don't really know. But she kind of went through hell in the media. So Ariana Grande has been filming Wicked. I think it paused for the writer strikes and then it resumed again. And during that time, she was seen at the Wimbledon with her co-star Evan. Oh my God, why can't I remember his name? Why can't I just remember that he played SpongeBob, the musical? Am I about to Google Ariana SpongeBob? Ariana SpongeBob guy is the result that came up. Ethan Slater. Evan Peters, Ethan Slater. That's why. Okay, see. Rumored new boyfriend. Yes, he had a wife and baby at the time, but nobody really knows the timeline. But all the headlines at the time was that she's cheating, she's a homewrecker, she can't, stay in a relationship. And that was, all these rumors were happening before the album came out. Okay, so promos. At the time there was the music video, the Yes and music video, her SNL performance, which, oh my God, so beautiful. But we're going to get into it later. The Zane Lowe interview, and at the original time I was typing these notes out, I said other interview because I didn't watch it. I watched the Zane Lowe interview, but I kept seeing clips of just her in this like warehouse, it looked like, and I had no idea who the interview was done by until last week when the Trixie Mattel and Zach Sang interview came out, and I put the little pieces together in my brain and realized, and then I realized, okay, that's it. So I've seen one clip now from the Zach Sang interview, and I think I will go back and watch it again, but actually geniusly cut out all the quotes I would need from it, so that's perfect. So that's the promo that happened, and here are some like initial ratings. These came out like right when the album came out. So Ariana Grande is Gorgeously Exposed on Eternal Sunshine. It got 7.2 from Pitchfork, 4.7 audience reviews. Rolling Stone says it's some of the most honest and inventive music of her career, and you know what? I agree. My initial thoughts after hearing the album the first time. My first thought was like, yes, it is a very short album. It seems like it kind of flew under the radar a little bit. So I know she was busy with filming Wicked, so she probably couldn't do promo so much like before. She did a little bit with SNL, and these interviews. But I think that Zane Lowe met her in New York to do it. So I don't think she had a lot of time. And they knew that Taylor's album was coming out, Beyonce's album was coming out. So I think it was actually really smart that they got it in before those two. But I feel like just now, 3 months later, it's starting to pick up and get more of the recognition it deserves. After hearing Yes and, I thought the whole album would be a bit more housey and voguey. So the first few listens I didn't catch a cohesiveness to it. I was really trying to like get like what's the theme like sonically. I get it now, but I didn't at the time. Yeah, I didn't really get the vibe after the first listen, and the album seemed really understated. Like if you're comparing it to her other albums, this one is super like, I think understated is a fair word. Like it's not negative. Some initial references that I noticed. Of course, right off the bat, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This is Max Martin. He produced a lot of 90s music. Backstreet Boys. Backstreet's Back. Robin. NSYNC. Backstreet Boys Millennium. Britney Spears. Baby One More Time. Celine Dion. Bon Jovi. Britney Spears. No Strings Attached. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you. In the year 2000, I was 8 years old. NSYNC, I had the plastic jewel case of No Strings Attached. When I tell you, I would sit there on my blow-up plastic couch that was in my room, sitting there with my CD player, lyrics out, studying the texts of every song in the NSYNC's No Strings Attached album. You see, I've been actually analyzing lyrics forever. At least now somebody is listening to me. Thank you. You get the point. Max Martin is a 90s icon, and it makes so much sense why this R&B 90s pop vibe is so prevalent in her album, Eternal Sunshine. He produced maybe half that album. I don't know, maybe more, maybe less. And I couldn't help but clock the Beyonce references of Boy Bye in We Can't Be Friends. There's like a me and my truth, we sit in silence. And I even saw a video of people doing like the mute challenge with that. So if you don't know, Beyonce in one of her songs says, look around, everybody on mute. And the crowds needed to mute. Album creation. Okay, so let's watch this video. Okay, so that's her label. She's sitting in the studio, and this is their first time listening to the album. And if you hear a lot of beeps, it's because it's when they say the name of the song. But I thought this was really insightful, kind of hearing her first reactions. There's so much more to hear. It feels very much like the centerpiece of the album to me. When she said, like, I also was thinking that the song does feel like the centerpiece. Glue that ties all of this fun with the sad. Thank you, sorry, I'm crying. Yeah, this album there's some really fun moments, and there's some absolutely heartbreaking, devastating moments. But I love, like, she sounds so proud of the album, and I think it's like such an interesting dynamic that they even showed us this video, how, you know, she's presenting the album for the first time, and I don't know, it's just like a really cool moment to be able to see. I've never seen such like candid reactions to hearing something for the first time. Max Martin, the producer. Mm-hmm. It's you. It's like an elevated version of all the albums that you did before, like Sweetener. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a thank you next. I don't agree with that it doesn't sound like anything of the last ones, but. Telling a story, if you know what I mean, it's beautiful. Yay. I think it's gorgeous. I heard like 4 or 5 that could be. Can we hear a couple more? Yeah, they want to repeat some of the songs. Actually, I have 5, and then I find myself kind of like the order changing in my head. I don't know. Yeah. That's beep. These beeps kill me. I love too. This came out this came out before the album release. That's why they had to beep everything. Okay, then they just basically talk about what they want to hear again.
Because the thing that feels like to me, and maybe try listening, pretending you haven't heard the rest. But the reason why I kind of liked it, it's an all-encompassing what the fuck? Why aren't we all thinking with the cap of everyone's tired, everyone is healing from someone or something that you can't see on the surface. Everyone is feeling that. So that's why I kind of liked it as we're coming back. And also
this
ends the intro so long, and it's funny. First because
talking about the single, first single.
But also because it gives us a lot of place to go. I like that. It's not obvious. It's not obvious, but it's also it's kind of the thank you next.
This was super interesting.
Formula, if you will, because it's thank you next came first because it had to.
Yeah, even though Seven Rings is a bigger record.
And break up with your girlfriend. To be honest, it's
Okay. So yeah, they were talking about how they decided to pick the first singles. When Yes and came out, I thought it was a honestly weird single or an interesting choice for the first single because, as I said, I thought it made me think that the whole album would be super dance. I was like, okay, and this was just off the height of Renaissance, so and Madonna's tour. So I was like, okay, I'm not super excited for this album because it sounds like she just kind of hopped on the house Vogue train and went with it. But I was happily surprised that that's not actually the direction the album went in. And I think she's totally right that releasing Yes and first did give the audience expectations and everything else a lot of place to go because it's more of an open song. If she had put out We Can't Be Friends first, it would have been soul crushing. Or That Boy Is Mine, it's too fun of a song, too unserious of a song. So let's get into the beginning. This album starts off with a question: how am I supposed to know if I'm in the right relationship? Also the vocals, super smooth. She sets the stage with this question, and it sounds like she's already kind of made up her mind to leave this person and that she's already thinking about someone else. Now that could be my putting the current events too much on this song, but I think it's pretty, I would bet that that's kind of what it is. Because it's how am I supposed to know if I'm in the right relationship? I've been thinking about this interaction I've had with this guy for 5 weeks, and I wonder if he's also thinking about it and smiling. I wonder if he's judging me like I am right now. So the judging part and if she wasn't in a relationship, probably this interaction wouldn't have to be so secretive. If the sun refused to shine, baby, would I still be your lover? Would you want me there? If the moon went dark tonight and if it all ended tomorrow, would I be the one on your mind? And if it all ended tomorrow, would you be the one on mine? So now that I think about it, maybe it is just about one person, but I'm really glad I didn't make this video before because I just found Franz Kafka's letters to Milena. And it fits so perfectly with this song. Dear Milena, I wish the world were ending tomorrow. Then I could take the next train. He's, by the way, was a German-speaking Czechoslovakian author. I wish the world were ending tomorrow. Then I could take the next train, arrive at your doorstep in Vienna and say, come with me, Milena. We are going to love each other without scruples or fear of restraint, because the world is ending tomorrow. Perhaps we don't love unreasonably because we think we have time, or we have to reckon with time. But what if we don't have time? Or what if time, as we know it, is irrelevant? If only the world were ending tomorrow, we could help each other very much. And it just reminded me, if the moon went dark, if the sun went dark, if the world were ending, would I still be the one on your mind? Bye. Okay, this is tell him, boy, bye. The way it transitions, this one is more 70s dance vibes. And I do like how she genre blends here. In this song, I feel like she's choosing herself doing the scary thing, even though she knows she's going to get backlash from the media. Again, it's hard not to have this heavy filter of the real life events because the album came out and she even said she wrote it in like 3 months. I know she was working on some of these songs before she started filming Wicked, but I think the lyrics, she keeps talking about how she was like too open and honest with the lyrics and she kind of had to reel it in. But I still think we get some of it. You didn't think you'd lose me. But boy, bye, it's over. So what did she say about it? She said, that was a tricky balance for me because I definitely had some sessions where I was writing more emotionally and reactively, but that's also very human, so I didn't want to erase all of it. I love this, so cute. I love these images. I love the colors. I love the reds and the browns and the whites and the creams and her hand tattoos. Don't want to break up again. She has had many short relationships that have all been like very public. The same thing happened to Kim, you know, like it makes me so frustrated. Like if anyone's lives were broadcasted to the whole world, we'd all be villains. And I don't mean that like, oh, we all do bad stuff. I mean that even if you don't do something bad, the one-sided way it can look to the society perceiving it, which might not actually be the whole truth. Anyway, yeah, so we're getting into her relationship lore here. I was going to say, yeah, the same thing happened to Kim Kardashian with her, like, whatever, 90-day marriage. But, like, wouldn't you, like, think about it if she was your sister or your daughter, whatever, your cousin. Wouldn't you want her to, if she was in a bad relationship, to, like, realize that and leave? Like, what, are we supposed to stay in bad relationships so it doesn't look too short? Sure, it's better to not do the impulsive thing in the first place, but shit happens, she said. Don't want to break up again is kind of like the hangover of Bye in a way. Like, this has happened, but I'm reflecting. There are so many polarizing feelings that we experience as human beings with regards to one situation. And that's what I like about these two being back to back. Because in Bye, I say, at least we know we tried, didn't we? The two of us, we did good. And then in Don't Want to Break Up Again, it's like, you didn't even try till the end. Both feelings exist at different. And I like the humanness of that. I like that they are layered and complicated, and all of the different emotions that come with loving and leaving are kind of showcased, I guess. This is the devastating one where they're like, laying in bed, she's crying, and he's just watching TV. The Saturn returns interlude. I love a good astrology mention. This one is of an astrologer talking about Saturn return. So if you don't know what a Saturn return is, it happened, this astrologer said 29 years, it's 28 to 29 years, that it takes astrologically for Saturn to move its way around. It's also the time that we become in our adulthood, I feel like, for a lot of people. It's kind of like a big moment. I remember at that time, like, I had so many changes in my life. Eternal Sunshine feels like a wake-up moment, sort of like a pivotal moment in the story. And Saturn Returns comes right before it. It tells you to wake up. It just felt like setting up the rest of the album in a way. Diane Garland is speaking, and she's an astrologist, and my dear friend Will Loft sent me that vocal that he chopped and put together, and he was like, this made me think of you. And then Ela, I don't know who that is, put orchestration under it, and I was like, I hope it's okay that this is going on my album. I don't always love speaking interludes, but this one is short enough, and there's some nice music under it. And I like this wake up because it really ties in. It's, if you've seen Eternal Sunshine, the patients or clients are sleeping, and then sometimes they hear in the periphery the noise that's coming out, that's happening around them while they're in this deep subconscious sleep. I feel like at some point in the movie, someone was like, wake up. Eternal Sunshine. Yeah, the transition from wake up perfectly timed to the title, the track film reference. Oh, also this Reddit thread. Are the links not working? The Reddit thread basically said that there's this video, Mac Miller and Ariana Grande, and it's the one where she's saying, like, he's starting to tell her a story, and she starts to record it, and he gets really shy, and he says, I'll tell you this story as many times as you want to hear it, and there's her laughing in the background, and people think that the laughing in this track is from that video. I don't know. Could be. So yeah, this is, as she said, the glue that ties this album together. It's the title track. It's the one named after the movie. And she said, I've always loved that movie since I was a little girl. Also, so did Mac Miller. He said it's like his favorite and that he showed it to every girl he was dating or something. I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan, and I've always have been, and I was always sort of attracted to the idea of writing a song around that. But once I realized that the rest of the songs were kind of forming a story that, well, it's kind of similar to Eternal Sunshine, where the cycle that everyone's trying to break, it just fell into place. This I Hope You Feel Alright When You're In Her. Hope you feel alright when you're in her. You're just my eternal sunshine. This song is my obsession right now. This song is everything to me right now. I don't know how many times I played it on repeat today. Like, vocals, unreal. The keys at the beginning, amazing. The lyrics, Need the Moon. Wait, what was it? Okay, it was also produced by Max Martin. Okay, let's just read these lyrics. This love's possessing me, but I don't. This love's possessing me, but I don't mind at all. It's just so catchy. I don't want anyone else around me, just need you right here. You're like the only thing that I see. It's crystal clear. And I want you to claim it. I do. What are you waiting for? Yeah, I want you to name it. I do. Want you to make it yours. It's like supernatural. Need your hands all up on my body like the moon needs the stars. Nothing else felt this way inside me. Boy, let's go too far. I love when there's these lyrics what are so, like, dare I say sexual, but like not overtly, and it's just like Beyonce's Cowboy Carter. If you don't listen with an ear, you're like, oh, this is a bop, and then you listen to your lyrics and you're like, Jesus Christ, woman. Damn. Write that and put it into it. We should start writing love letters again. Not texts. Signed, sealed, delivered love letters. Do it. Just, even if you're not poetic, whatever. Just write, need your hands all up on my body like the moon needs the stars. So it can be the only thing on the piece of paper. Send it. Or, Jesus Christ, Frank Kafka's, come on, can we... You are the knife I turn inside myself. That is love. That, my dear. I don't think that's love. But he got a little, What was the one where he was like, my name got shorter and shorter until it turned into yours? Now I'm even losing my name. It was getting shorter and shorter all the time and is now yours. Vocals, unreal, like the moon needs the stars. Okay. Also, I oh my gosh, with the Zane Lowe interview, I loved this look with the black bow and her dress and her hand tattoos and her hair and the earrings. This is maybe one of the only songs. Actually, I like this song. I just hate the beginning. This is a true story about but then the beat comes in and the song is like, as I said, super cunty. So let's read her quote. It's an untrue story. I love that she's like very clear on that. True story. This is an untrue story based on all untrue events. I actually had that hook from the batch of songs Max Martin was working on for the Seth MacFarlane TV show that never happened. So that was like a sister song to Fantasize. Okay, so if you don't know about Fantasize, there was some leaks of Ariana Grande songs. One of them was Fantasize, and it was about how she was trying to get with a guy who had a girlfriend. According to sources, which is her, there was a Seth MacFarlane movie that was being created, and she created a parody song for it. And it never got released. It never got published. But everyone thought that this song was like about her situation. And so she said that she decided to give the people what they... I think it was in the Zach Sang... Okay, you know what? That's why it confused me, because it's Zane Lowe and Zach Sang interview that she was like, you freaks, you actually liked this song. So let me give you a little bit something on it about like in the same flavor. Sister Song to Fantasize, a couple of these little seedlings existed before this album, and I was actually in the moment like, we might have to save some of these for when we do an album, even though there is a version of it already on TikTok. And I was like, it feels important. I love it that much that I kind of want to reclaim it and make out of it what I wanted to originally. I didn't want to let them win in that way, I guess. Them as in the people who leaked it. Everything, the production, the vocals, the lyrics, everything are the biggest changes. It was just like a shell. It was a seedling back then. It was a song about something completely, entirely different. I don't even remember that one anymore. And you know what? I believe her. As someone who writes songs and who has then listened to my songs, 10 years later, I'm like, what the fuck was I talking about? And it sounds, or this sounds like something completely different than what I was even thinking about, and you like take iterations or ideas of something and it starts from the shell, but it turns into something completely different, which is really, really cool. Okay, now let's get into these lyrics. I'll play the bad girl if you need me to, if it makes you feel better. I'll be the one you love to hate, can't relate, too much on my plate. Bitches, see it in your eyes. You got too much time. For fun, you like to prey on my demise. But I'll play whatever part you need me to. And I'll be good in it too. Okay, that boy. I always want to say that boy is mine. And then it reminds me of a book series, which shall not be named. That's going to be everyone's favorite, unfortunately. I think it's naughty. It's the version of fantasize that they wanted to have. It's like a sexier, naughtier one, and I think it's more provocative than the rest, but it's not about what you think it was about, and it's also a song that I've always wanted to interpolate. Is that what the kids are calling it now? Yes, it is. I have like many different versions of it from many years ago, but this is not that, honestly. Just the title is an interpolation. I'm such a 90s baby. I have so many 90s interpolation ideas, samples in my brain. But this one finally found a home. I wanted to come after True Story on the track list because that song plainly says, I'll play the bad girl if you need me to. When she was in the Zane Lowe interview, she was saying, she kind of stopped herself. She was saying that the album was created very quickly, but then she was saying like, no, at the same time, it wasn't, because I see there's like so many layers and storytelling. And so I keep saying this, but it's really true. Like, it reminds me of Lorde saying how she wrote, I think it was Pure Heroine, how she just literally, her kitchen table, she just had like note cards of lyrics and song titles and everything, and for the whole creation of the album she was like rearranging these note cards on her table to kind of make a cohesive story. And I feel like that's like such a gift that these kind of big artists have when they have these super, super, super talented producers working with them, is that they can just create this idea and all the pieces, and then the producer comes in and kind of gets the glue and the hammers and the nails and the extra construction pieces that you wouldn't normally have at home, and then they really build something together. So it's I really don't like when people don't give even pop artists like Ariana Grande enough credit. Sure, there are artists that have just sometimes artists do just sing songs that were written for them, or someone writes and gives it to someone else. But even then, they are picking the vibe and they have such a coherent idea most of the time. So, because I don't know if you've ever tried to write, produce, record an album on your own, but it's like an almost debilitating amount of work to really get something of this. We wouldn't have music of this high caliber if we were relying on people to do it on their own. Okay, Sufjan Stevens, an exception. There are people who just can do it all on their own, but I think there's another kind of art where the producer and the singer come together and they can kind of join forces and make something flawless, in a sense. Okay. Rant over. I don't love this dress or this look as much. Yes. And she's in her improv era. So yeah, as I said at the time, this being the single confused me. The music video kind of confused me, but now I see why she said she needed to choose it as the single, because as she said, it gave a lot of room to go. And by that I think she meant that like the expectations, the rest of the album, it kind of gave a neutral ground for the rest of the album to kind of exist within. Yeah, this is also what I love that happens sometimes, is that sometimes the most upbeat song, then you go and you actually read the lyrics and you're like, oh my gosh, this is deep. I love this bridge. Oh my gosh. Like, say this to yourself in the mirror a few times, My tongue is sacred. I speak upon what I like. Protected, sexy, discerning with my time. Your energy is yours and mine is mine. What's mine is mine. My face is sitting. I don't need no disguise. Don't comment on my body. Do not reply. Your business is yours and mine is mine. Why do you care so much whose dick I ride? Why? Yes, girl. Also, people are like super commenting on her body, crazy ways. And yeah, why do you care so much whose dick I ride? Because your business is yours and mine is mine. You know what? I love this song now. Then things take a turn. File under songs to cry to. This song, and actually this SNL performance, changed the album for me. Because seeing the emotion that she sang this song with, we're gonna watch it. We're not gonna listen to it, but we're gonna watch it. Seeing the emotion, I was like, oh, she's singing, like, this album is important to her, and she's singing about some real shit in this album. And there's the lyric, you cling to your papers and pens. I wanted to find more direct Eternal Sunshine references, but this is the one that stuck out the most to me, is that Jim Carrey's character in this movie, he's always has his papers and his pens, and he's always writing. I also thought it was interesting that this was the music video that had the Eternal Sunshine motifs. And not the title track, but maybe the title track isn't getting a music video. You have given extensive thought behind your decision, and you've given brighter days, right? Isn't that what it was? I can't really read it, it's blurry, but Corp, the exclusive permission to remove this person completely from your memory. So if you haven't seen the movie Eternal Sunshine, they go to this corporation who promises to completely wipe the memory of a person from them. And you see people there with their pets. You see like an elderly guy, I think, and then you have Jim Carrey coming in. You have read and understand and accepted the risks. So she's signing the contract. Okay, so she's sitting in the waiting room, brighter days, and here's her box of memories with her. And people also think that this bear is like Mac Miller reference. But she's sitting there with her cute little 90s outfit, the Brighter's Day Corp. There's a box of tissues, amazing decor, an outlet halfway up the wall, and yeah, other people with their boxes. And she's debating. She says yes, and she signs her name. Peaches! He liked to call me Peaches when I get this nasty. Okay, there's the nurses. Okay, you see this woman, as I said, yeah, she has, I think that's like from the movie. Someone had a box of dog stuff. And she takes her box in. Oh, I love those boots. Very Bratz. Brighter days ahead. So they're doing the procedure. And then, so she kind of gets into the song. And they're starting the work. And she's saying, yeah, we can't be friends. Okay, and then we have this, going through the memories. There's the scenes with Evan Peters. Oh, they're like happy memories. There's the teddy bear that's shown up multiple times throughout the promo and then this music video. And it was even in the SNL video, you'll see later. Okay, so now, the other thing about this movie is that the apartments really do feel like this. It feels kind of like a soundstage. It's very dark and not a lot of light and very cluttered. There, relationship troubles. This is a scene from Eternal Sunshine where they are, I think, on the beach or so. No, there's the frozen lake. Oh my gosh, that look is gorgeous with the flowers. They love each other. She's crying. She's erasing the memories. And yeah, birthdays. Okay, this is the most replayed. Okay, this is like the neurons being deleted from her brain. I don't know how to say that correctly. And she's saying, can I keep this one memory? People think that the dog reference and the can I keep this one, like, when I was doing more of a deep dive last night, I was like on the verge of tears because like Mac Miller is like, I know everyone says this, but like if there ever was like angels in this universe, in this plane of existence, like Mac Miller was one. Like his music, it's like so raw and beautiful. And even this like circles that came out post, I can never say this word, after he passed, posthumous, that's not the word. Even that album, like that album like healed me in a time I needed it to. You know, you ever just like see people and you know they're soulmates, and I know it couldn't work out for that. Like, I don't want to also romanticize their relationship too much, but you can see, like, she's mentioned it several times. It's like it's obvious, and you know, she couldn't fix him. He had an illness, and you know, it happens, but like it's still like these gut-wrenching references that you realize like 5 years later, like 5 years is nothing, and it still like affects her very, very deeply. Like, she's been through, as a casual fan, I know she has been through some shit, and like, so she took Mac's dog after he passed. So this, can I keep this one? And the dog, I think it's definitely a reference to him. This is the music video a little bit makes it look like the guy turns into the dog, but I guess that's kind of true. Like, the memory of Mac and them together, I guess, like lived on through this dog. And what does the hat say? Oh, dog mom. That's cute. And things in the house are changing, but she still has the dog with her. That's so sad. She looks happier now. They see each other. Oh, they see someone else. Okay, anyway. Now, I just want to show you the first few minutes of this SNL performance because it's really beautiful. Okay, I'm actually going to unmute it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ariana Grande.
There's the TV from the music video with Evan Peters. Okay, now I need to... Oh my god, but the vocals... I have to play it. Okay, strike me, YouTube gods, but this is just... Okay, maybe if I pause it enough times. It's this line. And I think she hadn't really... I think she hadn't really performed live in a while. And she seemed like a little bit nervous, or like she was trying to find the voice, but it was also, I don't know if it was that or the song is just so vulnerable. You can kind of see her getting into it, and this is crazy. This production. My jaw literally dropped when this happened. Maybe you've seen it before, but I'm gonna... Because it literally looked like a real set. And it was just a light wall. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. My jaw literally dropped when I saw that. And this moment, that changed the whole album for me. And that made me go back and listen and rewatch the movie and really be like, and watch the interviews and really be like, okay, you know what? She did something here. And I want to understand it. I want to get it. I wish I hated you. This goes from like this total devastation to a little bit more reflective. The melody, the vocals, they're all gorgeous. The honesty, the feelings of, I don't know if this is more like falling action or resolution, but it's one that I won't listen to probably or sing live probably, but I think it's a very important color to exist within the album because it's just an important piece of the puzzle for me. The song is saying like, I wish you had been worse to me. I wish I hated you because that would make leaving you so much easier. Yeah, it's easier to pretend that you're a monster to make peace with this ending. That's what the song is. But it can't have not been right, and that person can still be a good person, and I think that's a really important song to write. I think it completed the family of breakup songs where I wrote from more hurt or upset place. That's so true. It really balances out in a more like post-breakup clarity of like, someone doesn't need to be a villain. It doesn't need to be some huge falling out or some huge story, whatever. It can just be like, it wasn't right. I can give credit and make peace with this and not carry that version of you that I had when I was upset. I don't need to carry that version. Grieving would be much easier if we hated a person. It's good riddance, but no, it's capturing the complexity of what happens if I don't. It's imperative, I think. It's protective as well. Imperfect for you. Now we get into these like cute last little love songs after all this like breakup, and I feel like this is where she finds a new person, or maybe even you could say it's like found, you know, love in herself. I don't think so. It's definitely about another person, but I just love this line. How could we know we'd rearrange all the cosmos? I love the guitar. It's like the feeling of the end of a movie where two people are coming together, and they like, you know, put their bags in the back of the car. They get in together, they close the doors, and they drive off together on some adventure. It's a cute little love song. And she said, Imperfect for You was the last song finished for the album. I also feel like it feels like a last song, but... And that's another thing with this album. I feel like there could have been many different iterations of the ordering of the songs for the most part. Like, I feel like, yeah, there are the initial questioning songs, breakup songs, the hurt songs, and the love songs. But I feel within those that there could be some room for moving it around. I love it so much. I don't know why it's my favorite. I think sonically it is my favorite. It's very different for me. It's very trippy, rubber soul vibes, and that's my favorite music to listen to, and I don't think I ever explored it for myself. But it just felt really fun to lean into and try to make something super trippy. 60s. Okay, so I wasn't crazy about the 60s and 70s. Okay, organic feeling, just capturing that kind of thing. And they're saying how they're both like fucked up people, but it's okay. They're imperfect for each other. They're perfectly imperfect. And the last song. The first song started with a question, and the last song ends with our answer of how do you know you're in the right relationship. Something about it also reminded me of this like in Frank Ocean Skyline 2. It's another cute little love song. Her grandmother, or Nana, she's Miss Grande, Miss Italiana, is speaking, basically just saying like, of course it was hard. It would be easy to leave, but, you know, when he got off the train after work, it was like seeing a god to me. You should always kiss your partner before going to bed, and if you can't do that, you're in the wrong place. And she said she just recorded her Nana talking for hours because she's the funniest fucking person on the planet. And that tiny thing is in the dead middle of an hour of her and Shirley bitching about men and about feminism. It's the funniest. Someday there'll be an extended cut of the song, and you'll hear Shirley, her best friend, and Nana talking about all their crazy. There was in my head a version of the album where I was going to interview Nana and all her friends, and my mom and Lainey and everyone, and showcase as interlude stories about love and learning and relationships just from women that I love so much. But I didn't have time to do it, but that existed in my head for a while. You know what? I don't think it would be too late to kind of release a video version of the album that's like, you know, kind of documentary with all these interviews. It's definitely not too late. I think that would be amazing. Wraps it up perfectly. So my closing thoughts 3 months later from my initial listen, because I listened to this album as soon as it came out. Sonically, amazing. I definitely underestimated it and all the, as I was saying, the layers, the storytelling, the cohesiveness, the world building that she did. But yeah, sure, some parts are based on her life, but there's a little fantasy too. And I think it's kind of, because when did her last album come out? Like a lot of years ago. And so she's been working on Wicked. I think she just would have pockets of time to be in the studio, and that this album kind of came from last years of experience. And those are my thoughts. So tell me, like, I have a feeling a lot of people haven't really gotten into this album. Like, Brittany Broski has talked about it several times on her podcast, but I feel like until I actually followed Ariana Grande on Instagram, I didn't hear anything about this album. If you haven't really listened to this album, I would say definitely explore it. I think it's really worth your time to get into. If you are in a relationship, ever broken up, you are going through a breakup, even if you're entering into a new relationship, I think it's like interesting to listen to kind of have that perspective is that like this person is not going to be perfect. That's okay. None of us are perfect. Yeah, I'm really glad it exists. I'm not going to give it a rating. I can't rate music. I either like it or I don't like it. So I like this one. Thank you for watching my analysis. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to see more videos like this for other albums, please let me know. I would love to make more videos like this for albums that I have never listened to or that are older. So I definitely would go back. I don't want to only do new albums. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and be well and enjoy life and have fun. Bye.